that work week the correct way on a Friday TGIF edition of the show that being the number one form, the hottest ticket for all things Crimson Tide football news. Yours truly, the hype man for all things Bama conversation, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. You are listening to In My Own Words, coming to you from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming you the show on YouTube. Speaking of the channel, go ahead right now, give a thumbs up, give a like on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on so that way you can have the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your Crimson Tide. Also, we got you covered Facebook and Twitter as well. All forms of social media streaming to you the show. No excuse whatsoever for you not to be locked in. The number one forum for your Crimson Tide. Got a shout out my man John Ivory in the production studio. Get his thing done as always. On the show, we got a lot of things to get into, to jump into, to discuss and talk about, and we want you, the fans, hitting us up on this evening. And you can do so by calling 205-448-1358. That is the number right there to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to have Jack Martin, who is the transfer punter from Troy University, who committed to the Crimson Tide, will be a part of the Alabama football program. He'll be on a little bit later on in the show. Going to have fun talking with one Jack Martin, of whom he is going to bring a lot of experience to the Alabama room, where the specialists are concerned. Before we jump into our first topic of conversation, got to shout out Cody Tanner McGee one time. Cody Tanner McGee, that $10 donation into the Super Chats. Appreciate the love there coming from Cody. Also, people that daily Super Chat go, $75 there. Daily Super Chat go. But we jump into topic number one of the conversation tonight, and that being, can Bryce Young take this Alabama team and have it go undefeated, perfect season for a second straight time, back-to-back times here under Coach Saban? Because one thing about the Alabama football fan base is you enjoyed last year. You really did. In a COVID year where there was a lot of uncertainty, you didn't know what the heck was really truly going on. It was significantly reduced capacity in stadiums. And despite all of that, Alabama was able to be head and shoulders above the rest, dominate a conference-only schedule, get to the college football playoff, win the national championship, win an SEC title. And from watching that, you guys were hyped up. You guys were excited. You guys were glad. You guys had bragging rights and boasting and just getting all of the excitement out of your chest there. But as fun as it was, you guys are looking now going, okay, last year is over. We just signed, we being Alabama, just signed on paper the best class of the Saban era as freshmen. Now, those guys still have to put in the work on the field, absolutely, but on paper, best class that Saban's brought in. So now you guys are thinking, with this recruiting class, with all the talent back, with, us getting back to a sense of normalcy, having full capacity in stadiums, with the SEC expected to be much better across the board from top to bottom, can we do it again? Can Bama go undefeated again and get to the national championship and win it again? This is the question going on in the mindset of you, the Crimson Tide faithful. And we're already starting to see some people go, well, I don't know about Bryce Young. I don't know about him. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't proven anything. He didn't play in meaningful games last year. He did not get meaningful reps last year. He was not on the field where there were bullets flying. I really don't know. I really don't think that Bryce Young can take this team and go start to finish undefeated national champions as the starting quarterback. And while I feel like, once again, the SEC is going to be good this year, and you need that if you're Coach Saban. You need that if you're the Alabama football fans, because what is the one thing you guys have grown tired of is people saying, well, who has Alabama played? Has Alabama played anybody? People know good and well before the season starts, the Tide would have 6 to 7 teams scheduled in the top 25 preseason. It's not Alabama's fault that once they beat these teams, the programs forget how to win. And at the end of the day, you're down to having maybe 2 or 3 teams in the top 25 versus the 6 or 7 that started off right there in terms of Alabama's competition. So you cannot penalize the Tide for what other teams do after they face Alabama, but we all know the College Football Playoff Committee and others are. But having the SEC be strong this year, that's a good thing. Now, just getting back to Bryce Young, we all remember, Mac Jones last year. I mean, people were saying the exact same things about, Mac Jones a season ago. I don't know about Mac Jones. I don't know if Mac Jones can do it. He ain't Tua. I mean, oh my gosh, Tua was the greatest thing I ever saw. Oh my gosh, Tua, you couldn't come close to him. Nobody is close to beholding what he did. Like Tua was that special. Mac, this skinny, 3-star from Jacksonville, Florida, but can he do what Tua did? Can he score like Tua? Can he make plays like Tua? Can he be as dynamic as Tua? I don't think he can. I don't know about Mac Jones. Y'all watched that Iron Bowl in 2019? He the reason why Bama lost the Iron Bowl with those 2 pick sixes he threw. I don't know about Mac Jones. But y'all saw what happened, though. Mac Jones went out there, COVID year. Coach Saban even contracted the virus. He missed a game. Mac Jones had the greatest single-season performance by any quarterback in Bama history, going undefeated, winning the national championship. I mean, people said the same thing about Greg McElroy in 2009. They were like, I don't know about Greg. I don't know. He can't do this. He can't do that. Questions about Greg. I don't know about McElroy. Florida's got the bomb quarterback down there in Tim Tebow. And, Bama had John Parker Wilson, but he going, I don't know about Greg. And yes, McElroy in 2009, he had his ups and downs. He had his ins and outs. But even he took the team. And though that era of football is much different than this era of football, McElroy took the team and won a national championship with that. So when I look at Bryce Young, yes, he may not have gotten a lot of playing time last season, but when you look at the 9 games he did get in, those are important games in terms of reps to put to his memory. I can understand if Bama redshirted him and didn't play him last year, then you can say, well, he's wet behind the ears. Well, he's green. Well, he don't know. I don't know about Bryce Young, but because he went out there and he took the field and he got those reps, that allows him to say, okay, what I did that was negative, that resulted in a lost fumble, a sack, a bad play, I know now I can't be doing those things on the field. Versus what I did that was positive, whether it was a big throw to a wide receiver for a first down, or using my legs to pick up a first down, or hooking up with Devontae Smith for a touchdown against Kentucky. Those things I have to continue to do because those are positive things to help the program. And I know we've gotten some pundits right now saying, well, Alabama's going to be vulnerable this year. Defense is going to be great, but we don't know what the offense is going to look like. You lost Mac Jones. You lost Najee Harris. You lost Devontae Smith. You lost Jalen Waddle. You lost Alex Leatherwood. You lost Landon Dickerson. You lost Deontay Brown. There's just too many losses. Just too much talent to overcome. Bama, brand new quarterback, brand new offensive coordinator. I just don't see Bama repeating as national champions, undefeated. We've heard this same song and dance before, people. We've heard the same stanza before. People were saying that Mac Jones couldn't take this team and win a national championship being undefeated. People said the same thing about Greg McElroy in 2009. Now, am I saying that Bama's going to go undefeated this year? That's not what I'm saying, because the SEC is going to be a gauntlet this season. However, I am saying do not put this past Nick Saban. However, I am saying do not put this past Bryce Young. However, I am saying don't put this past this Alabama team to go undefeated, because it just, to me, every time it gets in the offseason and people are low on content and they try to figure out, okay, what's the biggest way for me to ruffle up some feathers, get some conversation going, get some energy started, get into people's skin. Of course, they're going to bring up Alabama and the possibility of maybe I don't think they win a national championship. Whenever Alabama is doubted or underestimated, this is where we see Coach Saban do his best coaching and the players do their best playing on the field. Bryce Young has already put in a ton of work this offseason. He's putting in a ton of work right now, and he knows the light is on him. It's shining on him to get this team back to the college football playoff and try to repeat as national champions, undefeated that being. So we'll see what happens. But once again, we've seen this same song and dance before about, Bama, not going to be able to do this because of a talent and pieces being lost. But before we take our first break here on the show, I got to shout out the man, Senator Hines, the pimp man. That $14.99 donation to Super Chats. Appreciate that from Senator Hines. And happy belated birthday to my man, the G-Man, Senator Hines. Appreciating him, showing my love. And then Gucci Todd rolled up in here with that $10 donation as well. Appreciating Senator and Gucci Todd for the love that they have shown. And also New Jack, that 777 coming in there from him. We take a break right now, folks. Don't touch that dial. Upon our return, we get to your phone calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your conversations after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
We are back in here, folks. Back into the action here from the break of number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday. And we're going into the phone lines now to take your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. That is the number to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And we take our first call of the night from the man, Senator Hines. What's going on, my man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Thanks for the birthday shout-outs from you and everybody in the TDA family and in the chat, man. That really made me feel special. For real, y'all just don't know. I had to press in to catch the show tonight. But, Steven, hot show tonight so far, brother. That Bryce Young got me fired up, man. And for Paul Feinbaum, I honestly don't think Paul believes what he said, man. He has to create content in the offseason, man. And I think Paul is like me and you, man. I think he looks at the rosters, he looks at the experience coming back on both sides of the ball, and nobody in the SEC. Maybe Georgia is the closest team, but they lost so much on defense. I mean, big names on defense this past season. I think they struggle early with teams having to, having more experienced offenses this year. I think they even struggle early, but I don't see anybody stopping us early. I mean, Miami's going to give us a good look for probably all of 12 minutes, Steven. Seriously, it's going to be a massacre. I think this year's offense gets more room to be dominant, than last season. I think they give the offense more explosive play calls regardless of the score because you got so much young talent. You don't change the play call. You play the game, not the score. So, yeah, man, I'm excited, man. We got a Miami fan, I guess, in here. Man, I don't think you understand. Like my boy Don said, Alabama's second string couldn't make it to the playoffs this season. That's how deep and talented we are. So thanks for taking my phone call, Steven. And again, thanks for the birthday wishes, everybody. Blue Ranch gang, we out here. Shout out to my TDA fam, Roll Tide.
Appreciate the call coming from Senator Hines, starting us off here on the show as you guys are continuing to get your thoughts in here, 205-448-1358. That is the number right there. We're going to go to a quick topic, and that is on sophomore quarterback Bryce Young, who is getting some work in back home in California. He's working with the 3D quarterback camp, a 3D QB camp, which is an elite youth quarterback developing training facility. Those guys do phenomenal work. They work on the biomechanics, the pro-style quarterback training, a lot of the passing, the footwork, all the drills that make a quarterback special, that make a quarterback unique. Of a 3D QB camp really specializes in those areas, and they've been able to get the clientele of some of the best to even go to the NFL. When you talk Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Carson Wentz, guys like Joe Flacco, who's got a Super Bowl, Eli Manning, who's got a Super Bowl. So this particular venue, 3D quarterback, these guys have worked with the best of the best when you look at young guns and just veterans trying to improve upon their craft at the quarterback position. Bryce Young there right now, there throughout the week, getting his work in, trying to make sure that he's the guy that delivers Alabama the back-to-back national championship for the first time since the 2011-2012 season. We take another break right here. Before we do that, how about Kraft King of One, baby? Kraft King of One, that $9.99 donation into the Super Chats. Appreciate that love coming from Kraft King of One. We take a break right now. When we get back, we sit down with Jack Martin, the Troy transfer punter, who is now a member of the Crimson Tide. We'll talk with Martin after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
We are back in, folks. We are back into the action from the break on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, bringing this here with you. And before we go to the In My Own Words hotline, we got another super chat. Let's see who this is right here. Last name Jackson. This is Rain Jackson. Rain Jackson, that $20 donation. Appreciate that coming in from Rain Jackson, helping us out here on this show. But we go over right now to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up the latest member out of the transfer portal to the Crimson Tide, the punter specialist extraordinaire from Troy University, now a member of your Crimson Tide. Jack Martin is in the building. Jack, how you feeling right now? Proud to have you here.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to be here. Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. We got Jack Martin here on the phone lines, transfer from Troy University, big-time punter, averaged 46.1 yards per punt last season at Troy, and now committed to the Crimson Tide. So, Jack, first off, congratulations to you, absolutely. And just for me personally, watching you last season, you had a knack for squeezing return specialists, not allowing those guys to create good field position, whether it was punts, whether it was kickoffs, allowing your guys to get down there and cover the ball. How much pride do you take in when I'm flipping the field, I'm not letting anybody create an opportunity to drive the ball on my defense when it gets out there?
I believe, honestly, I know a lot of kickers consider this, and sometimes it goes unnoticed, but I believe punting is honestly probably one of the most important parts of the game because, you're battling field position. So really, I do take a lot of pride in it, especially pinning the team back and really helping the team win and putting the defense in a good situation.
Absolutely, and you did that exceptionally well at Troy. 25 punts on your end. 13 of those were fair caught, were not returned. 13 of the punts were also dropped in. Well, 13 punts were dropped inside the opponent's 20-yard line. So you did some serious work there. But just looking at coming to Alabama, where the last real big-time elite specialist from the punting aspect was J.K. Scott, played from 2014 to 2017. But what sold you on Nick Saban? What sold you on Alabama? What had you go, I'm having success at Troy, and I appreciate everything that the Trojans have helped me to get to this point, but I cannot pass up Alabama.
That's right. So really, I kind of debated with my parents and family and my kicking coach, and I guess figured out it was time for me to leave Troy and hopefully have another opportunity present itself. And then Alabama did, and I believe Alabama, obviously, I mean, it's the best football team in the country, and so that's a plus. And you have the best head coach in the country, so another plus. But I believe what Alabama did for me, I mean, it's just good for my opportunity to come in as a punt and kickoff specialist. So really, just going to Alabama is all these pluses, but I believe it's a great opportunity for me and myself, my skill set.
If you're just tuning into the show, we've got Jack Martin here on the phone lines, Troy transfer punter, committed now to the Crimson Tide. And Jack, so Drew Swoboda did the majority of going out there and recruiting you, the brand new special teams coordinator for the Tide. What type of relationship were you able to build with Coach Swoboda in a short period of time? What do you like about him, and what were kind of the things that he told you throughout this process?
So all this has happened real quick. So snap of the finger. I'm in Alabama. I'm at Troy to Alabama, snap of the finger. So really, I haven't got to know him too well, but the amount of times I've talked to him, I've learned that he's very passionate for the game. Very passionate for the game. He cares a lot about it, and he wants to be the best in the country. And so that's really exactly what I like about him. And I do like he's expressed that there's always fair competition. And so either I come in and play. If not, make the other guys better. So he seems like he brings a fair playing field for all the specialists.
When it comes to personal goals just for yourself this upcoming season, Jack, I know the team goal at Alabama is always win the SEC, get to the college football playoff, win the national championship. Saban kind of has everybody locked in, zeroed in on that. But if you had any personal goals for yourself coming to a new team, entering a new conference, what would some of those personal goals be?
Really, obviously win a national championship and just put my team in the best position to win. But for myself personally, I don't like to get all into the awards and stuff. I believe just going out there and having fun really what does it for people. But I guess if you could say for myself is really obviously making on the first team SEC punter and hopefully get on a Ray Guy finalist. And the goal for every punter is win the Ray Guy. So that's what you're aiming for. And really just trying to get to the NFL. That's everybody's goal, and that's my goal. And so whatever I can do to get myself there, I'm going to do.
Absolutely. And just kind of the last quick one here, RN Jack, as we're on the phone right now with Jack Martin, the Troy transfer punter that's committed to playing here for the Crimson Tide, is take me through right now, Jack, the mindset, of a punter. When you take the field, when you're trying to either flip the field or get a quality punt off or checking your hang time, when a punter takes the field, what are those first couple of thoughts going through your mind as you're trying to execute your drop and just make sure that my guys can get down there and cover the kick? What goes through a punter's mind as he's out there on the field?
Yes, sir. So I believe as a punter, you do so much preparation through the week before the game and even during the off season. I believe once you get on the field, really all the drop and all is muscle memory. So I believe for a successful punter, you need to have confidence. So that's the main thing. You're going to go out there and put the field. And if you're not confident in yourself, there's no way you can do it. So I believe the best thing, honestly, is just go out there, let the muscle memory take care of itself, and really just be confident in your ability.
He's Jack Martin, ladies and gentlemen. Troy transfer punter committed to the Crimson Tide. Will be playing for Bama in the upcoming fall, in the upcoming season. Jack, we appreciate you coming on here, spending some time with us on In My Own Words on a Friday. Best wishes to you. Best success to you, man. Take care of yourself. Have a great season, my brother. Be good.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Jack Martin, Troy transfer punter, will play for the Crimson Tide in the upcoming season. Bama solving a huge need there at that position. I mentioned here, earlier in the week that Saban continues to get the guys he wants out of that portal. He saw, at wide receiver, we got some talented guys, but some unproven guys in the wide receiver room outside of John Mechie and Slade Bolden. So you go out there and you grab a Jamison Williams from Ohio State, and then Coach Saban looks at, well, we got the most coveted linebacker in the portal and Henry Toto. Let's go out here and get him, bolster up our defense a little bit more. And then Saban one more time dips in that portal, grabs Jack Martin, of whom, since J.K. Scott, the Tide has not had that consistently exceptional leg at that punter position to not only flip the field, but really constrain and limit these return specialists from getting quality runs on punts, on kickoffs, and, making the opposing team drive the ball the length of the field on the Alabama defense. So best wishes definitely to Jack Martin. Excited to see what he's going to be able to do in the upcoming season. We take a break right now, folks. Don't touch that dial, because when we return, we get back to the phone lines to take your calls right after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
And we are back in, folks, from the break to the action on the number one ticket for Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Appreciate everybody for checking out the show on this evening. And before we get back to the phone lines to take your calls, gotta shout out Senator Hines one more time, baby. Senator Hines again, that $17 donation into the Super Chats. With that being said, that daily Super Chat goal of $75 has been met once again by you, the Alabama football faithful. Appreciate you for your love, your passion, your support here of the show. But we take a call right now. You're live on the show tonight. What's going on?
Hey, Steven, it's Clark. I know it's been a minute, but how have you been doing, brother?
Clark, been doing great, man. Outstanding. It's Friday. We're just moving through the offseason, brother. Moving through the offseason.
Yeah, I know we're definitely in the dog days, but I think we're closing in on that 100-day mark. If I had one question, especially for this time of year, what kind of stat line do you think Bryce Young puts up? Because I'm predicting around 3,000 yards, maybe closer to 3,500. But I do see us being more of a run-based team than we were last season. But I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Okay, so you got 3,500. I actually have 3,000 on my nose. I have 3,000 on my nose, and that's because I do think Coach Saban does want to feature these backs a little bit more. And then you also got to look at the defense is going to be playing with its hair on fire this year. So the defense is going to start the season, kind of setting that tone. The offense will still look good. Bill O'Brien will still have the offense playing at a really strong clip. But if I had to guess at it, I would give Bryce Young 3,000 on the head. And, because of the fact that Alabama's going to try to feature those backs a bit more.
Yeah, and one question, too, before I let you go. What kind of playing time do you think Kamar Wheaton's going to be getting? Because, I know it's still early. I know fall camp's still a couple months away. But his name is one that's kind of eluded a lot of people, that especially down in the Southeast that talk football. So what do you think his future is, especially in this upcoming season?
It will depend on what he does the moment he gets here, Clark, because we know Coach Saban has never shied away from putting the freshman in front of an upperclassman, especially if he feels like that freshman can play winning football right now. So it depends on what this Wheaton does upon him getting here. We appreciate Clark, though, for that call right there. We take our next call. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Roll Tide, Stephen.
How we feeling, New Jack?
Warming up. I'm warming up. How you doing?
I'm well, man. I'm well. We're moving to the off season. We're about 100 days or so away from college football, so doing good.
Yeah, I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. I'm in the singing mood again. Unfortunately, I'm not going to sing a new song, but I want to sing that same old song that, in the last 15 years or so, it's become more and more popular. In the last 4 years or so, everybody seems to always be singing it. But I don't think my new girlfriend, Denise, is really familiar enough with it. So I just want to shout out to my new girlfriend, Denise Wilson. I want to sing her this song. Y'all listen up. Yay, Alabama, drown 'em tight. Every Bama man's behind you, hit your stride. Go teach the Bulldogs to behave. Send the Yellow Jackets to a watery grave. And if the man starts the weekend, that's a shame. For Bama's plucking grit, have written name in crimson flame. Fight on, fight on, fight on, men. Remember the Rose Bowl will win then. So go Rose Degree. Hit your stride, your Dixie football pride. Crimson Tide, roll tide, roll tide.
We got New Jack right there again, giving us the fight song in respecting his the new lady in his life right there. So appreciate that coming from New Jack. But always, folks, 205-448-1358. That's the number to call in to let the voice be heard here on the show. We're gonna get to a quick topic though, and it goes to Julio Jones. And right now, the Atlanta Falcons are putting Julio Jones on the trading table. If a deal wants to get made, it must be done at least by June 1st. And there are now 6 teams in the running. There are 6 teams in the conversation for Julio. We're looking at the Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers, New England Patriots, Indianapolis Colts, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Tennessee Titans. And one team in particular, the Titans, Derrick Henry has been lobbying for the Titans to get Julio Jones. Now, will the Titans make the move? Who knows? But if the Titans get Julio Jones, you might as well just start booking them in for the Super Bowl, because Derrick Henry has already taken a lot of pressure off of Ryan Tannehill when you discuss a 6'3", 247-pound giant who runs a 4.51. Did y'all see that workout video Derrick Henry had? Sheesh! The man is lifting every plate in the room barefoot. I mean, I looked at that and I looked at that and my mind tore an ACL. That's how crazy that was. I looked at Derrick Henry doing that and my mind had an ACL tear. So we're already seeing, the pressure that Derrick Henry takes off the shoulders of Ryan Tannehill. But if the Titans were able to get Julio Jones, then they would simply be telling Tannehill, look, we believe in you, man. We got you. A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. Go out there and win a Super Bowl for us right now. We don't know if the Titans will pull it off, but Derrick Henry is lobbying for the Titans to take Julio Jones. But it'll be cool if the Ravens get him. If the Niners were to get him, by God, if the Patriots get Julio, could you imagine Mac Jones and Julio? Jesus, man, that'd be awesome if the Patriots did that. The Colts are in the running, and also those Los Angeles Chargers. So 6 teams on the market here for Jones, as the Falcons are putting him on the trading table. Deal, if it's going to be made, has to be made by June 1st. We'll see what happens. But Senator Hines, one more time, that $5 donation. Appreciate the love there coming from him. We take a final break here on the show, but upon our return, we'll get into this. Athlon Sports put out its preseason all-SEC team, and already Bama dominating that entire list. We'll break down the Athlon Sports list. We'll talk about the Bama players on there and what does this mean moving forward in the upcoming season. We'll touch on it after this.
If you're an Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to STSfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to STSfootwear.com and get your All Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
As we're back in, folks, to the action of a number one ticket for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got to give a shout out to Patrick Murphy and Alabama softball getting the 9-0 victory over Alabama State today in Tuscaloosa Regional. Crimson Tide hosting Troy, Bama State, and Clemson this weekend at the Roadhouse in Tuscaloosa. And so on tomorrow, I think it takes on the winner of Clemson Troy. So that's going to be an interesting matchup right there, but Bama softball getting the win over Alabama State. But before we get into the final topic of conversation, got to remind you of TDAwear.com. That is TDAwear.com. So for all of you fans still overjoyed with the Crimson Tide's national championship, we want you to check out our championship collection merch. Now this means you grab you an 18 of them things, folks. Hoodie, T-shirt or sweatshirt, as well as our Got 18? We do shirts, designs that feature all 18 championship years on the back. You head on over right now to TDAwear.com. Do it right now. TDAwear.com, and you go to that championship collections merch tab, and you copy that gear today. Show them that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Well, people, we are in the time of the year where we are starting to see those preseason all-conference team lists. We're starting to see those preseason all-conference lists, those preseason award lists from the media outlets and the different, organizations out there. And Athlon Sports got the ball rolling on yesterday, putting out its preseason all-SEC team. And for the Crimson Tide, it tied the Georgia Bulldogs with the most selections being 15. And as we look at the guys right here named to the teams here, the first team list, we had 5 guys: John Mechie at wide receiver, Evan Neal at offensive tackle, Christian Harris at linebacker, Will Anderson at linebacker, and Jordan Battle at safety. You pretty much knew these 5 guys would be on here. John Mechie, a guy that was explosive last season, 55 catches, 916 yards, 6 touchdowns. Now he's going to be the number one weapon here at wide receiver, helping out with Bryce Young at quarterback. And, Mechie trying to show people that he can be the leader of the room. He can take this group and make it a very successful group in the upcoming season. Behind him, you got Evan Neal, someone of whom everybody believes is going to be a first-round pick, a top 5, a top 10 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, an offensive tackle going from right tackle to now left tackle, protecting the blind side of one Bryce Young. We saw last year he did an amazing job keeping Mac Jones off the ground, so Evan Neal right there. Christian Harris, I've said this a couple of times, did not make an all-SEC team to end the 2020 season. Pro Football Focus left him off of being one of the top 5 linebackers returning to college football. So, Harris has some pent-up anger. He has some frustration. He's got, he's going to be playing with his hair on fire, running this defense from the inside linebacker position. Excited to see what he does. And then when you look at Will Anderson, last year, 60 quarterback pressures, a guy 52 tackles, 10.5 of those for loss, 7 sacks. It just did a whole bunch of big stuff. As a freshman, was the Sean Alexander National Freshman of the Year from the Football Writers Association. And you're looking at this season, he's got a chance to do some very special things and grab some records. And then last but not least here, Jordan Battle, a film junkie. People are already looking at him as a first-round safety in next year's venue, and it's going to be fun to watch what he does in the upcoming fall. When you look at the rest of the names here that made the Athlon Sports All-SEC team for Bama, second teamers right here, we've got Bryce Young, Jaleel Billingsley, Emil Ekiyor, Henry To'oto is here, Josh Jobe, and Malachi Moore. And Bryce Young, self-explanatory. He's projected to be the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide. All of the high expectations are on him, but he's dealt with high expectations since his high school days at the powerhouse Mater Dei in California. So he understands what it means to have all eyes on him, in the words of Tupac Shakur. So Bryce Young is looking like he's going to get this done in the upcoming season. He's got all the talent around him. He's got the offensive-minded genius in Bill O'Brien calling the plays here. And though Matt Corral of Ole Miss was listed as the first team, quarterback for the SEC, Corral and Bryce Young will face off this year. So we will see in the upcoming fall who really is the best of the best at that position in the conference. Behind Bryce Young, you got Jaleel Billingsley, very special player at the tight end position. And like I mentioned with Bill O'Brien in here, he's going to look to pop out more success out of that tight end room. Jaleel Billingsley finished last season 18 catches for 287 yards and 3 touchdowns. Emil Ekiyor, 3 on this list as a second-teamer. He's an experienced offensive guard. We saw down the stretch of last season, he got better and better and better at that right guard spot, and I expect nothing but a even more production coming from him. Henry To'oto on this list, coming over from Tennessee, committed to Alabama. It's going to be interesting to see, how he meshes with Christian Harris and Jalen Moody. Going to be very interesting to see. Does he pull the job outrightly away from Jalen Moody? So it's going to be interesting to look at what To'oto does. Josh Jobe on this list, a guy that you got some draft pundits right now thinking about him as a first team, an early round DB for the 2022 venue. He had some good moments last year. He stepped up some last year. He improved a bit last year. But can he put the entire technique together and truly be that sort of lockdown, no pressure, no panic type of corner? It's going to be fun to watch Jobe in the upcoming season. And then Malachi Moore rounding out this list of second-teamers. We saw what he did as a freshman, made a tremendous impact. And I mean, Justin Woodall is working Malachi Moore. It's going to be fun to watch what he does as a sophomore year two. When you look at the third team and fourth team guys, we've got Brian Robinson, LeBron Ray, Christopher Allen, Will Reichert, and the big Tim Smith, the only fourth teamer there on the list of a sophomore on the defensive line. And all of these guys are looking to have, big seasons. Brian Robinson, can he hold off Jace McClellan, be that number one back here for the Crimson Tide? Going into this upcoming season, going to be fun to watch what B-Rob's going to try to do here. LeBron Ray, can he give you the Tide Nation one season healthy? That's all you want from him. If he can give you that one season healthy, he can have a big year. Chris Allen, after having a healthy season last year at outside linebacker, he's back for his second full season, trying to prove that he can have a second full year healthy. Last season, 13 tackles for loss, led the SEC, 6 sacks, 5 quarterback hurries. And a big year. Will Reichert was perfect on field goals, perfect on extra points a season ago. He's looking to make it 2 for 2 on that perfection. And then big Tim Smith, he's going to have a say here on this defensive front. But Alabama tying Georgia with having 15 guys on the preseason All-SEC team for Athlon Sports. Going to be a big season here for the Crimson Tide. But as always, Tide Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store, if you've got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you covered right here. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio. Got you covered right there. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. As always, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. Also, if you're trying to be one of the first to get your hands on the print edition of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, you go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. That link is in the description. And if you're trying to get your hands on that 4-finger bling necklace, 4-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com, that link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands, children. The weekend is here. But remember now, you do the smart thing, fun thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. You get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, spit in my own words.